This week, the stars aligned to ask this question: do I believe love hurts? We have oodles of sonnets and songs written about love, and most often they're focusing on the pain of it in relationships, like the so-called star-crossed lovers of Romeo and Juliet. Relationships have the center stage this week because the sun will be shifting into Venus-ruled Libra and will be shining rays of love on our relationships, on the love in our hearts for the Fall Equinox, which comes this Saturday. And on that same day, the vivid imagination of a Pisces moon will harmonize with sexy Venus and Scorpio to lift her out of desires for vengeance and into writing beautiful songs about a higher kind of love. This sweet duo says to us, how about we undo our old definition of love and replace it with love's definition of itself? Welcome, I'm Judith Royal, archetypal astrologer, and I'm here to bring you a timeless perspective on your love life. This is your astrology weather forecast for the week of September 17th to 23rd, 2018. Here's a fun fact and an archetypal metaphor for this week. We're experiencing something that the scientists call equinox cracks. I never knew this even existed, but there are openings in the Earth's magnetic field allowing solar wind to penetrate Earth's magnetosphere. And it also is lighting up the sky over the polar regions of our beautiful planet with more than 100 million watts of power. But not to be afraid, our atmosphere protects us, and the shielding action of this atmosphere, our atmosphere, we call the aurora borealis. And right now it is spectacular. Just check out NASA's website for some pictures. With the alignment of so many planets right now in Earth and water signs, it is as if a huge dam has broken and a weighty backlog of frustrated ambitions is rapidly rolling out. In some cases, it seems more than we can handle. But you'll find that you're in better shape with this than maybe you thought you were, because Sirius Saturn, that Sheriff Saturn with all the checkpoints, is all about helping us be successful. He counsels us to be steady as we go, and also the lesson he would teach, among others, but especially the lesson of perseverance. Perseverance at the point where obstacles show up on our path. One of my favorite old movies is Martian Child, and in it, the message is so beautiful. It says, never, 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 ever give up. Especially never give up on those that you love. So in the elements this week, listening for what matches your own moon sign and sun sign. The elements this week, we start with a Virgo sun, a Capricorn moon, a Virgo Mercury, a Capricorn Saturn, Taurus and Uranus, and a Capricorn Pluto. That's 6 major energies in Earth sign. And then with it, and very compatible, because remember, Earth holds water, are the water signs of a Scorpio Venus, a Scorpio Jupiter, and a Pisces Neptune. We have just a tiny bit of air now for you air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We have Mars in Aquarius this week. So the lunar birthdays for this week are Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Now, we start Monday, September 17th, with a Capricorn moon. And she is really walking hand in hand, very friendly, with that Venus in Scorpio. So they make beautiful music together. And also in the mix, later in the day, Monday, comes the god of lightning. And so we're going to get some enlightening emotional surprises. It can be an epiphany, especially if you are grounded. And the same Monday's Capricorn moon is also going to run right into Sheriff Saturn. Here, do the best that we can to not take things so seriously. Now, Saturn and the moon are an odd couple. They're not ordinarily compatible energies, but paired up this way, as they are on Monday, we can get some real stability to our emotions. No mood swings, but not so objective that you intellectualize your feelings and ignore the urge of your intuition. So Monday is a day to do witness to your beliefs and just watch yourself. Watch yourself try to project the more uncomfortable feelings onto your unsuspecting partner. Emotions, by their very nature, are necessarily subjective, but now you can get outside of yourself just a little bit, stepping away from the moods, perhaps long enough to really examine the thoughts that you're holding that are creating the feelings that you have. Now, Tuesday, the 18th, Mars is going to square Uranus. So these are two powerful warrior planets, and neither one of them likes to back down. So this is another one of those times when you won't feel like compromising, but you should, but you won't want to. So warrior Mars in this square, it's the signs are Mars in Aquarius to Uranus and Taurus. So that's air and earth, a very smothering combination. But it brings a time of restlessness because we feel held back. And we want to break the restrictions that bind us to any kind of limitation to our freedom. So we're going to feel a bit rebellious, but none of us wants the chaos of a thoughtless revolution. But if you've held something in or you've allowed yourself to be imprisoned by a belief and you've waited until now to think about changing what you can change, then this might break open with an unpredictable force because those limitations have literally become intolerable. If you've been cherishing your rut because it feels like stability, and I'm saying these things because of all the earth and water signs we have right now. Anyway, if you've been doing that, the universe arrives with a plow, sort of the farmer's plow in the field to level the ground and to level the playing field. So this actually gives you freedom and more choices for movement than you've had before. Now, the god of lightning on his own will break the locks on the prison doors that we've built, but he has little regard for what we consider our duties and our obligations. That is definitely not his thing. So it is shifted a little bit, however, since he's been in the sign of Taurus. That's even an uneasy sign for him to be in, because rebellion usually takes nothing into account of, oh, I don't want to be late to work, right? So I think this means for us that we're not going to throw over the apple cart without first selling all those apples. Very practical. Then Capricorn, before sundown on Tuesday, the moon goes into Aquarius with that Capricorn energy. So on Wednesday the 19th, which is Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement for the Jewish faith, the Aquarius moon is going to pair up with Mars, but get in a fight with the god of lightning. So just yesterday, it seems, the warrior Mars was in that tense internal struggle. And now the moon comes along and triggers the very same feeling, the very same struggle. So remember, when the moon triggers something, it's much more up close and personal for you. These bigger planet influences that otherwise can sometimes be too subtle, now they really hit home. The moon is still in Aquarius on Thursday, and this is a day that the sun and Mercury get together. They're paired up, both of them in Virgo. And you may be more inclined to talking than listening this day, because the sun with Mercury gives you solar-powered energy, and you're going to feel really robust and strong, and maybe take on a lot of things that you might later regret, because Virgo loves those long lists, right? So try to stay away from that if you can. So take the initiative, though, in conversations and in communications. If you've been thinking about writing somebody or calling somebody, do it. Especially on Thursday, you will have a lot of support for that. It's absolutely the perfect time. Remember, Virgo loves perfection. The perfect time to take care of paperwork or anything that seems to need analytical skills, because, of course, Virgo's always favorite is cleaning up and decluttering. She's sort of a minimalist energy. So now, just before the messenger planet Mercury leaves the sign of Virgo, which he's going to do this Friday, he's going to line up side by side with that sun. And this makes that kind of high energy for communications. And perhaps you have heard the expression void of course. Often you see it in relationship to the moon, but of course it applies to the planets as well. And the sun conjuncting Mercury that I've just been talking about is the last aspect for both the sun in Virgo and Mercury in Virgo. So both the sun and Mercury are void of course right after that conjunction. So it's a time that this Friday that we can step back and rest. That's exactly what we should be doing on the 21st. And I think it's a beautiful synchronicity that also on Friday, the happy coincidence is that it's the International Day of Peace. So lovely. Stop and join in that energy. Now, Friday evening, Mercury goes into Libra. And the sun will join Mercury the next day, Saturday, for the equinox, because the equinox is the time that the sun moves into the sign of Libra. So happy birthday, Libras, and let's all remember and have sympathy that balance is hard to come by, and we all know that one way or another, but that is going to be our emphasis, is balance in relationships as well, between giving and receiving. But just a little technical help here, that the equinox is supposed to be the time when there is an equal amount of dark and light, day and night. But the actual date in Pacific Daylight Time that we have that equality is actually September 25th, when the length of day and night is 12 hours. And you can look timeanddate.com for wherever you live. Now, Sunday, the moon goes into Pisces. That's September 23rd, and will be really helping us out. She's going to make a beautiful pairing with visionary Neptune and a harmonious trine with Jupiter. And all of that will occur Sunday evening, so you'll be feeling it all of Sunday, and it's within minutes of each other. So this just sets off once again that beautiful Jupiter-Neptune trine in which, well, perhaps we have some pleasantly dreamy and idealistic thoughts, but it is that beautiful energy to lift us above the turmoil of the world, however briefly, so that we can reconnect with our soul and with unconditional love for one another. So use your lunar sonar to hone in on the meaning and purpose of your life, because that's what the Jupiter-Neptune trine is asking us. You, of course, do have a destiny that is unique only to you. In fact, if anyone does not fulfill their destiny, there's like a hole in the atmosphere of all 7 billion of us. So there's no question you will do it. The only question is when. Now, spiritual teachers are, of course, always wonderfully helpful, but the energy we have by the end of this week is really much more expansive and asking us to be the teacher and see the teacher in everyone we meet. I love what somebody told me in a meeting recently. We were all just having a lovely, happy time. And someone said, I come to these meetings because I see God in everyone's eyes. And that's how life could be. God is just love, so we see love in the other person. So to conclude, I want to tell you, once I went to this lecture, it was by a famous marriage and family therapist who said, getting married is a commitment to learn to love each other. Yeah, he's implying that the test of it and the trial of it is in our daily decisions. For example, whether we resent or forgive somebody's mistake and our own, because on the way to discovering the true meaning of love, we first encounter what love is not. So I'd love to hear from you, comments. What is your definition of love? And I love doing relationship readings, synastries between your two souls. So you can always email me at judith@judithroyal.com. And I hope you will make time for those yin lunar moments to just be still and tuning into those beautiful metaphors of life, arranging your own visions and epiphanies into poetry, because it will come very naturally to you this week, like sitting in the eye of the storms of life. Thanks for listening, and that's all for now.